Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over potential major winter storm Nathaniel, which still hasn't been named, but it's most likely that it will be named over the next couple of days as we get more winter storm warnings to go up. Confidence has increased that especially areas further to the north will be seeing the brunt of the storm. Even the GFS, which was the only one yesterday that was bringing that snow down through the mid-Atlantic, has shifted that north. So now we're looking at areas around New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, through Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois getting the most of that snowfall. We're going to be discussing what more of the models are showing, and then hopefully by tomorrow we'll have that snowfall forecast for the northern plains part of the system, and then for the northeast and the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes, I'll probably have that snowfall forecast out either by Saturday or Sunday, depending on how much clarity we have on this system. So here's what the current National Weather Service page looks like, and you can tell it's definitely very inactive. Currently, we have a few wind advisories over parts of Nevada and California, as well as some winter weather advisories for Michigan, Montana, and also in through parts of upstate New York, with some lake effect snow warnings in kind of the darker green color. And then we also have some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories for western and northern Alaska. But other than that, we really don't have a lot going on for much of the United States. And I wouldn't be surprised if you get a couple of winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, in isolated locations to pop up over the northern plains over the next couple of days. They'll be getting hit with this system within the next about 48 to 72 hours. So again, tomorrow's video will have the northern plains forecast for this area of the storm for your snowfall. So make sure that you are staying tuned for that, and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that video. So let's start off with the first model, the European model, and this one has stayed quite consistent overnight. We really haven't seen too many shifts except for from the GFS, which has actually shifted back further to the north. It was further to the south yesterday. It's now closer to agreement with the rest of the models. Now we have two different systems. We have one out through the central Rockies, another one back through California and Nevada. We have a upper high pressure right over here over some of the central states, and that's bringing in some very cold air. So unlike previous systems this year that moved through the northeastern part of the U.S. and the Ohio Valley, we do have a good supply of cold air. And actually the only question is, does this cold air kind of dominate the storm so much that it suppresses it further to the south, or is this cold air able to stay in that prime position over Quebec and Ontario right around here, bring in some cold air but not too much cold air that it suppresses this to the south? And it looks like we're kind of right in between that area where it's not too far to the north. The high pressure isn't too far away that you don't get the cold air, and it's also not too far to the south where you get too much cold air. So for those of you who live right in between this stretch right here, it's looking quite good if you do like snow from the system. So here would be by Saturday morning, we're looking at some of that moisture being pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico up through into the plains. We're dealing with a little bit of snow and rain mix through parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota. Again, that high pressure is going to continue to scoot along further to the east. We're having that cold air being kind of being shoveled down from Canada and being brought down into the eastern United States because of this high pressure. And then here to be by Saturday night, here's through Sunday morning, we're seeing a lead wave of this system. We're going to see this little shortwave trough move through parts of Ontario, Canada, sweep the northern part of this system along, but we still have all this moisture down in the southern states. So we're going to see another low pressure form, and that's going to become your bigger system that heads on further to the east and really becomes your big snow event. So this would be by Sunday night through Monday morning. We're looking at more of that snow enveloping the northern plains. We have rain further to the south, maybe a little bit of severe weather included with that over Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas potentially. We actually do have a 15% chance of severe weather on Saturday and into Monday morning for severe weather. So definitely pay attention. If you do live over those areas, you could see a little bit of severe weather. Nothing too big, but definitely something that might cause a little bit of thunder and lightning. And then as we continue this forward, you continue to see more of that moisture being pulled to the north with that low pressure over Kansas. We have snow in parts of the northern plains and the Great Lakes. And now we're starting to see that wedge of cold air start to make its way into the eastern United States. We're seeing that cold air being kind of funneled down from Canada. Your high pressure is up here, and we're seeing that cold air being able to make its way to the south, and that's what's going to allow a lot of these areas to get into some of that snow. So this is what the European model does with that. It brings all that snow through into areas like Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and northern Illinois. It brings it through southern Michigan with some more snow on the other side of the Great Lakes through Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and New Jersey by this point. This would be by Monday night through Tuesday morning. So actually Monday, if you live in the Northeast, might actually be fine. And if you live in the Great Lakes, it looks like the storm will start Monday morning. So it looks like if you live in the Northeast, you still have all of Monday to go. And then Tuesday morning is where the real snow or ice threat is going to be prevalent. And we do have to watch out this rain snow line, and could be a big factor just because ice can actually be quite dangerous. And we definitely we don't want to see any of that ice. Snow is actually less dangerous than ice in a lot of these cases. So hopefully we don't see too much ice like is being predicted on this model, and hopefully those amounts do go down in the next couple of days. So this would be by Tuesday morning. We're dealing with all that ice and snow being pushed further to the north and to the east. We're starting to see a redeveloping low pressure right here. We have our main one over Indiana and Ohio by this point. This one's going to head out to the north and to the east, and because we have this low pressure up here, it's going to actually stall this out because this low pressure is being blocked by another one actually further to the north and east. So that's going to allow it to just stall out over this area, and it's going to kind of stay there for about a day until it finally does start to move off. So here would be by Tuesday morning, here's by Tuesday afternoon, here's by Tuesday evening, here's even by Wednesday morning, early in the morning, and then probably by daybreak, it's all out of here for parts of the Northeast, and you should actually have a fairly easy morning commute over a lot of those areas in the Northeast. So here's what the GFS is showing, and this would be by Saturday morning. We have, of course, that high pressure in place over parts of Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. We have that first batch of energy back through South Dakota, and that's going to be heading its way further to the north. So you see that high pressure move eastward. We're seeing some of that moisture being pulled to the north. We have that low pressure in Kansas and Colorado, and then we have more of that snow throughout parts of the northern plains. This would be by Saturday night. Here's by Sunday morning. We see that lead energy head off to the east. So that's not actually your big storm. This might drop a quick 1 or 2 inches of snow, but it's not actually your big system, because your big system is going to be the one behind this. We see that low pressure redeveloping in Texas and Oklahoma. We have some severe weather potentially for those areas as well. And now we're starting to see the moisture colliding with that rain snow line, and that's and that cold air further to the north, and that's where you get your snow and ice issues. So this would be by Monday night. Here's by Monday, or actually that would be by Monday morning through the day on Monday. We're still dealing with some of that snow, but you can see it's notably further to the south than what we were seeing on the European model, and it's going to kind of stay to the south. So in this scenario, you're not dealing with a whole heck of a lot of snow in parts of Illinois, Wisconsin, northernmost Iowa, Indiana, through northern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and southern New England, as well as southern upstate New York. So you guys really aren't dealing with a lot of snow if you do live over those areas, if the GFS is correct, because it's sliding to your south. There's too much cold air that's actually suppressing this further to the south. So that's going to mean that areas actually in southern Pennsylvania are seeing more snow than areas further to the north, because that sharp cutoff line of snow is not getting that far to the north. And that's really the biggest question. It's not really where does that rain snow line set up, because we know we have cold air in place. It's just, do we have too much cold air in place? And that's what's going to be the biggest issue, and that's what we're still trying to figure out here. This is noticeably further to the north still of what the GFS was doing overnight and through yesterday. It was way further to the south than what you're seeing right now. So the general trend is to the north. The general trend is more favorable if you live in the Northeast, the northern Ohio Valley, and through the lower Great Lakes. And then here would be through Tuesday afternoon and evening, and then you're out of here by Tuesday night, maybe even lingering into Wednesday morning. You're dealing with a little bit of rain and snow mix, and then you might might see a little bit of lake effect on that back end. Potentially, it will be a windy day still on Wednesday. Now, here would be what the Canadian model is showing with this event. We see that snow up through the northern plains. We're dealing with that cold air being funneled into the eastern United States. We have that warm air and that moisture being pulled up further to the west. And as we continue this forward, here would be by Sunday night, or actually Saturday night, here's by Sunday morning, that high pressure is now retreating up to the north. So it's now kind of centered and elongated from Ohio northward into northern Ontario there. And we're dealing with all that snow from that lead wave. This is not your actual big storm. This is your lead wave. And you see that first energy goes by. But what the Canadian model does, which is actually quite interesting, is that right behind it, it doesn't even give a little bit of a break. You're maybe 6 or 8 hours away from the first lead wave, and you're already dealing with more snow in Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa. And then this kind of stalls out a little bit, has time to redevelop, and then it starts to get going. It starts to head to the east. We're dealing with that snow further to the north. We have a low pressure in western Kentucky by this point, and then you see more of that snow engulf much of the northeast through parts of the lower Great Lakes and into parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley region. And then that snow and more of that moisture continues to head further to the east. We're seeing that low pressure transfer from West Virginia off the shore of Virginia and in the Delmarva area, and that's going to start to actually move further to the north and to the east. And as it does that, it's going to be able to carry down more cold air on that backside. So you're dealing with snow in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, northern Ohio, parts of Indiana, Illinois, and southern Michigan by this point. And then you see we're dealing with, as we zoom this in a little bit more, we're dealing with more snow through Tuesday night. And then probably out of here early on Wednesday morning, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, you might still be dealing with a few lingering snow showers, but it's pretty much all said and done with by Wednesday morning. So it looks like it's going to be mainly a Monday, Tuesday event, and then by Wednesday, you should be all good to go, and you could probably start getting back on the roadways. Now, here's what the snowfall totals for this system are, and again, it's not really important to look at the exact totals, and these amounts are noticeably overdone. I don't think you're going to be seeing 20 inches of snowfall, but you could probably cut these in half and you would get a better estimate. But we're looking at mainly the footprint of the storm. Where was the heaviest snow set down? Here's what the European model is showing. It's showing a footprint right around here. Some of this snow in upstate New York is from lake effect snow, so that's not really all from the system, but you can see where the general footprint was, and you can see that we did have a sharp southern cutoff line where it was a little bit too warm, and that's basically from Maryland southward. You're not dealing with any snow according to what the European model is showing. Here's what the GFS model is showing, and you can see it's not actually all that different over the northern plains and the Great Lakes, but you definitely see that shift where actually southern and southeastern New England doesn't see anything, while southern Pennsylvania is looking at a lot of snowfall over those areas. So again, we do have a lot to figure out still, and I think the GFS eventually, probably by the afternoon runs, the overnight runs, will probably, assuming that most of the models still keep with this northern trend, will probably move a little bit further to the north, and you'll probably have, I'm assuming, and hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have a general consensus that most of these areas will be the bullseye, not really further areas further to the south. And I think by tomorrow we'll have a lot better of an idea of what may happen with the system. Here's what the Canadian shows, and I think this is a little bit overdone in especially areas closer to the northeast, but still you can see that footprint moving through northern Missouri eastward to about New Jersey and Long Island there. And then here to be what the icon model is showing, the German model, a little bit of a weird scenario where it's actually pushing this further to the south, but that snow does still make it a little bit further to the north. So you can see we have northern Missouri, southern Iowa, eastward getting a lot of snow, and then back through much of Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, Maryland, northern Delaware, kind of an in-between scenario happening there. And then here's what the Korean model is showing, just for a different perspective, and we're looking at pretty much the same trend as what the icon was showing, where it's not really closer to the mid-Atlantic, it's not really to the north and east, It's kind of right in between there. So southern New Jersey, northern Maryland, northern Delaware, southern Pennsylvania would get the brunt of this if this model were to be correct, if the Korean and the German model were to be correct. Now, also, we do have a severe weather threat with this, so I don't want to ignore that just because we have a lot of snow with this. We also have that severe weather risk, and they have a 15% chance, which is equivalent to a slight risk, on their day 4 outlook from Sunday through Monday in the morning. So definitely pay attention to that. That's what the Storm Prediction Center is putting out. Now, here's what the Weather Prediction Center is putting out, and these are your probabilities of seeing at least 4 inches of snowfall. And you can see in that green outline, in that green contour inside of there, that's where you have over a 40% chance. And then in that little red dot right there, that's where you have a 70% chance or greater of seeing over 4 inches of snowfall. So a decent accumulating snow. This would be for Saturday through Sunday. And then here would be the chances of seeing over 0.25 inches of liquid precipitation turning to snow. That's a longer way of saying right around 2.5 inches of snowfall, and what your chances of seeing greater than that are. And when they put out these chances this far out, 4 to 7 days out, that's a decent chance that it's going to happen. Even though these probabilities look low, 10 to 30%, that's still a lot. That's still a fairly good chance, and that's actually a decent chance of you actually getting that 2.5 inches or more of snowfall. We see that 10 to 30% chance in the light green, and that 30 to 50% chance in that darker green. This would be for Sunday into Monday. Here's for Monday into Tuesday, and this is when the Northeast and the lower Great Lakes really get involved, where you see that 30 to 50% chance further to the north there. And they actually did up these amounts from yesterday, where yesterday it was all 10 to 30% chance for the most part, and they even have a little speck there where you have a 50 to 70% chance over central Pennsylvania, that little blue dot right there, of seeing over 2.5 inches of snowfall, or about that amount. So here's also your chances on day 6, which would be for Tuesday through Wednesday. And you can see potentially some of those lingering snow showers in the early morning hours on Tuesday and through Wednesday. You could get a little bit of snowfall falling there, especially over coastal New Jersey, coastal New York through southeastern New England. That's where your chances are a lot higher. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.